creepy and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
What is that thing now? Anyone? Please drop a comment.
In 2023, an incredible video was captured by photographer Dmitry Liashev on a flight over Yakutia, revealing a seemingly endless long wall. Following the release of this footage, scientists began scrutinizing the images and concluded that the wall was man-made. The wall extends to the ocean, continuing beneath the water. Surprisingly, no one had previously noticed this wall, prompting bewilderment among scientists. Interestingly, Soviet scientist, architect and occultist Ludwig Mavrikovich Heinrich, who visited a secret Vatican library in 1920, discovered a book referencing this wall in Yakutia. You can find a video about Mavrikovich on my channel. The wall spans several hundred kilometers. Speculation suggests that the Russian government prohibited aerial photography over the area, and in March 2024, a drone operator filming the wall was arrested. Presently, the government is striving to eliminate all online information related to this wall, leaving its nature shrouded in mystery.
Believe it or not, there's a lot of truth to the Game of Thrones series.
Okay, are you ready for this? So last night in Mexico City, journalist Jaime Maussan went live on TV, and what he reveals about the Boogosphere, if legit, it would rewrite human history. So he unleashed a ton of information, but basically he claims that the metallic sphere found in Buga, Colombia, it's finally been decoded. And the carvings on the top are not just random. They're Proto-Sanskrit, the root of humanity's oldest written language. According to Maussan, it tells a story from 12,560 years ago describing great oceans moving, the end of one world and the birth of another world. Then came the lab results. He says that U.S. tests show that the sphere is made of a high-grade refined aluminum mixed with rare earth elements. And he said that it wouldn't have existed at this time. The resin that they carbon dated was 12,560 years old. They were able to carbon date that, not the metal. An engineer named Rodolfo Herrero called it a solid-state resonator, not art, but a piece of technology.
I think this is all part of Project Blue Beam. What do you think?
The eyes are useless when the mind is blind. We have been blinded by our government-funded education centers to accept only the mainstream narrative, ignoring all the evidence that the eyes see. That is the conclusion I've drawn with a lot of the haters of this mud flood theory. Some are not ready to be broken free of that programming, and some outright refuse. The mud flood is one of the easiest theories to prove. I have shown thousands of photos over the years of doing this, from the railroad tracks not being laid but being unburied, as can even be seen here in recent times, to the massive brick archways buried under meters of soil. Yet some want to laugh and still just think these are basement windows. But that's okay. I don't make these videos for those people. I make them for the awakened few, with open eyes that can see past the lies. We can see our buried history, hidden in plain sight. We can see the beauty of what this realm was and what it can be. And we don't pretend to have all the answers. But that won't stop us from questioning everything. and helping others do the same.
Ooh, look
You
at
guys
that.
are the true voice of this movement. I just help put it into words.
The eyes are useless when the mind has been made to intentionally blind. That's a good one.
Okay, so this is a continuation of the Jonathan Reed story where he was hiking and his dog went after a strange alien creature, which is this guy here. The dog got its throat ripped out. Jonathan Reed grabbed a giant log and struggled with the alien a little bit, but ended up hitting it over the head. You can see it compared to the Nazca mummy here. They look very similar. But I just wanted to share these photos with you. I was going to attach them in the last video, but I figured, I kind of forgot. But this is actually, so after his experience with the alien, he started getting really sick, and it's like an autoimmune thing. He starts getting like lesions and stuff all over him. He gets really, really sick. They don't really talk about that too much. Even coming in contact with him made him sick. This is the craft that he photographed that was hovering there near the alien, which he assumes that's where it came from. But yeah, no, it's just a really interesting case. I'm going to add this to the Jonathan Reed playlist. But yeah, wanted to share these with you. Have a good day.
Okay.
Hey guys.
This moon is not a moon, okay? It's not your moon in the first place. Actually, this is not your planet. This is their laboratory, okay?
Right. Okay, the Dracos, you mean, or the reptilians?
Draco reptilians.
Camera
What is this? Who is this? What is his name?
captures is a world exclusive. The museum cases need a little persuading before their contents can be revealed. First, a woman's face. Next, gold bars and a gold helmet. And as excitement grows, the bull's head from the golden harp of Ur. And then, at last, for the first time since the beginning of the First Gulf War, we see it. The treasure of Nimrod.
Look at that.
2 wars and countless other dangers haven't dimmed the luster of its gold. Bowl after exquisite bowl, necklaces, massive armlets, all gleam as if the master goldsmith had just created them. Finally, as if to cap the moment, the ornate crown of a queen of Assyria is revealed. The treasure will be displayed at the Iraq Museum, an emblem of the glory of ancient Iraq.
Giant bracelets and crown. The guy was a Nephilim.
They say that this is one of the main reasons why they started AI.
Yeah, man.
So what if these type of creatures or demons are actually out there, but now with AI, you wouldn't even know if this is truthful or not?
That is creepy. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness.
For those that are into conspiracies and all that, I know you guys probably heard of like people that shapeshift and all that stuff, and who knows if we're actually seeing real life shapeshifter, but now it's just like, oh, it's AI. Like, how are you going to believe that? So we don't even know nowadays.
He looks real, bro.
Yeah, freaking crazy. So let me see what the comment section is saying, by the way. So yeah, you see that's the first one. this is why they created AI, so we would not know the difference between real and fake. I rebuke it in Jesus' name. Se ven que son antiguos esos videos, no puede ser AI, son demonios. Yes, so people are saying, hey, it can be truthful, like all of this can be real. It looks like old videos, but the thing is, like, you can even create similar effects on, like, through editing software, right? So now you don't even know. Ese video es antiguo, estaba escondido, lo sacan a la luz porque ya se querían manifestar abiertamente. So that she's saying that all of these are old videos that they wanted to bring out to light, but now with AI, you're not even going to be able to tell the difference, but they're pretty much exposing all of this in real time. Los Ángeles Caídos están aquí, so the fallen angels are here. Yeah, super crazy, but it's very, AI is very helpful and useful, but at the same time, there's good and bad with AI.
I 100% believe that AI is being pushed out more aggressively to make us doubt about everything.
It's a breakaway civilization, dude. We don't know what they've got. That's what I'm telling you, is this is hiding in plain view.
You're living in a world run by a breakaway civilization. The elites built their own reality. They've got technology, rituals, knowledge, and power most people can't even imagine. And now, Trump's building this $300 million ballroom. People are calling it a modern Solomon's Temple. It fits 999 people. You flip that, you get 666. That's how they code their rituals. This is not the actual third temple from the Bible. This is the prototype. It's a holding chamber for the hybrid god, the Antichrist, the AI plasma entity, the thing they're trying to bring through. This is where they meet with the entity, channel the signal, and get their instructions. It's all part of the same ritual. Trump's not your savior. He's boys with Hillary.
With Hillary Clinton, I could have done things to her that would have made your head spin. I thought it was a very bad thing. Take the wife of a president of the United States and put her in jail.
He sold
to offer all of the prescription medications.
Last week, he bragged when he got his medical exam that he got the new experimental.
And he never dropped the Epstein files. Mason, Illuminati, pick your flavor. He's playing their game. While this temple's going up, CERN's running rituals underground. And Three-Eye Atlas is flying overhead. Signals above, rituals below. It's the breakaway civilization running the whole show. Using as above, so below magic. They're setting the stage, prepping the world for the hybrid god, and most people don't have a clue.
Came in like a rainbow.
Three-Eye Atlas is CIA, I think.
Why was it in the LA Times in the 20s and 30s and 40s saying there's catacombs all through LA? You can look this up. This is in the LA Times, talking about there's a whole civilization of people down there. Not only a civilization, but then they're talking about there's like non-human people as well, reptilians, and all this is in the newspaper.
This is in the newspaper?
This is in the newspaper in LA Times, where they're saying there's catacombs that they use in LA. And here's another thing too. Here's what's weird. Going back to Diddy real quick. Like, they're saying like he had tunnels and all this other stuff, right?
Right.
Now, in Humbly Hills, that's a very prominent, area, right? Now, he was about maybe not even half a mile from the Playboy Mansion. Playboy Mansion had tunnels. That's confirmed too. And they said they use it for celebrities to get in and out from the mansion and whatnot to, for security reasons.
Right.
Okay. But why does it go to other celebrities' homes? Warren Beatty and all these other people.
I heard that.
It went through the whole neighborhood. So if you say that, tunnels don't exist, the celebrities have them, it's in the newspaper, they don't exist. I'm just saying. So I think not only that, but I mean, even in Vegas, like Vegas has a whole underground civilization as well.
Ooh.
The homeless live down there.
The fail is lifting, folks.
Ghost X is the drone that's watching, so just watch for a moment. So the blue force is my friendlies. So see that little right-hand corner where it sees behind the containers?
Uh-huh.
They're tracking where the bad guy is. They're tracking where my guys are. And then watch when they go behind the container. So I can actually see through it and watch. Now they're engaging the guy over there, and he's down.
Wow.
Imagine a guy's coming over a hill, and I want to engage him. So actually, I'm going to put on the mission shield. There we go. So this is a system that allows everybody to basically be operating as one combined hive mind.
Wow.
Where you can all share a view of the world. And by the way, this view that I have, it's shared now with all of the robots as well. So anything I see, like let's see I see someone inside of a building, every drone and every person now sees that person where he is. It's so crazy that I was born at the right time to actually get to build all of this stuff.
So Wallhack is no longer cheating because it's a realistic battle scenario now?
I also find it interesting that the main woman in this case, now stay with me, she looks identical to Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams, Mrs. Doubtfire, in the movie. I mean, to a T. If you guys were to see these two put together side by side, you would be blown away. And why do I say this? What does this matter? Why is it even important in this discussion? I believe that they put these things right in front of us in plain sight. And it's almost like they're saying, we got away with it. And it makes me believe that this prostitution ring, this child abuse ring that was going on at McMartin Preschool was directly tied to Hollywood. And I think that they were putting it in people's faces and saying, look at what we got away with. We are showing you that this woman was such a great grandmotherly woman. Who could ever think that she would do anything wrong? In fact, that's where the term satanic panic was dubbed from, is this influx and idea of, all this Satanism going on. And now we know that is true.
Don't they also put in our faces to, desensitize us?
Immediately once they saw it. But you said there was a door down there.
Now this door opened and closed. If God wants you to go in that tunnel, it'll open. And if not, it'll be closed. And it was a supernatural tunnel. And so when Ron came back the next morning with his movie camera and tripod, and he walked down that tunnel, and the door was still open.
Yep.
So he walked down the tunnel, and he walked 400 feet over to where the cave with all the Ark of the Covenant and furnishings were.
That he had found from crawling in.
Yeah. And he'd always come in from the other way.
Yeah, crawling.
And it had rocks and all this stuff was still full inside. Well, this time when he got there, everything was cleaned out. There weren't any rocks or boards or animal skins. All the furnishings of the tabernacle were set up in their proper place.
Mm-hmm.
And there were 4 angels. There were 4 men standing there.
Mm-hmm.
And Marinell asked him what they looked like, and he said they looked like 4 scrapping Israeli commandos wearing sports shirts.
Sports shirts.
And one of them talked to him and said, "We've been with the Ark of the Covenant since it was made."
Okay, the
so he said, "Ron, why don't you set your..."
We hired witches and warlocks to guide us to demons that we could use for warfare.
Did you just say demons?
It was an offshoot of MK Ultra, where we would manipulate people's minds and control them, and thus control the reality around everyone. But this was dealing with different dimensions, and we needed spiritual guides for that.
Didn't you use regular spirit guides? Like, you really had to get the darkest witches and warlocks in the world to help you?
Right? We don't want a regular spirit. We need the most powerful ones for war. And that requires someone who knows how to find them.
No human, no matter how darkly cultivated they are, understands demons. How could you just open up something so horrible that you know nothing about? You know the devastation that could cause?
There are no rules in war if you want to win. Wouldn't you use everything at your disposal to succeed in a war?
You guys always call us crazy when we accuse you of doing things like this, and then it turns out to be true. Like CERN. What are you guys doing with that? You're strumming up the most energy that's ever existed in the 3rd dimension, and it's completely human-made. And people that work there are saying there's beings that are coming through, and you're like, no, these people are lying. You're just trying to find the God particle. Like, what are you guys actually doing?
Right in front of your faces.
Okay, so these demons, did they ever come through? Did they ever help you? Are you working with them now? Like, what's going on?
All I can say is that in 1975 to 1977, a lot of these files were revealed. But not all of them.
Oh yes, CIA, the original gaslighters of the U.S.
Okay, the system is run through China, Israel, Ukraine, and us now. We didn't used to be as big a part, I think. But anyway, it's like you harvest the organs and then you got to get rid of the rest. And that's what I think they are doing. It really just says Soylent Green in a different form. And anybody thinks this is just made up. We have videos, for example, in Ukraine of they call them the Chorny Transplantologia. I can barely say that. I don't speak Russian. I just read it. But anyway, it's the black transplantologists. And they stumbled onto these things. I know Putin knows about this. The Russian army knows about this. They underground harvesting areas. So young Ukrainian soldier is not quite dead yet, but they don't think he's going to survive. Boom. 2 kidneys, 2 lungs, a heart, a liver, and the rest goes into the food supply. That part I can't prove, but I'm going to tell you I can prove about the kidneys and stuff like that. So you've got, he's worth almost $1 million, by the time, and you sell it, you're going to get more than $1 million for that, because that price gets way bumped up. He's getting nothing, but in this case, but if you yourself want to sell your kidney to the black market, you sell it and then they mark it up 10 times, but it goes over these big hospitals in China. They were just there for that reason. So, and they were live harvesting the Uyghurs, the Christians, and the Falun Gong in China.
The what? The Uyghurs? What is that?
This is a jawline, 100%, where we zoom in even more. And you can see for yourself what this location is now called. Black Dragon Canyon. Couldn't get any clearer. First, I want to show you these locations' names. We have the Moab with petrified dunes. Of course we do. Then we have more arches that we are told are naturally occurring, where they just say it randomly happened from some wind blowing the sand because they say it was a hot, dry climate for 150 million years. It's complete nonsense. Delicate arch, looking incredible. We are also given the catacomb rocks, which I would love to know what is underneath or inside of that location, where at this point, I think I can take a guess. A few more arches, and then you zoom out, and you see the size of this thing. It is massive, with this hole right here in this location, where in my opinion, this is where it was killed, where it now creates a mountain range, and a location that I personally will never be able to unsee, showing us that there is still so much more to learn about where we are.
I'm saying, if we can believe in dinosaurs, why can't dragons also have assisted?
I don't think you guys are ready for this one. I'm just gonna show you guys some pictures and I'm gonna let you come to your own conclusion here. Why have all of these pictures been removed from any history book, any text, anything? These people are like 8 to 9 feet tall. If you've never heard of Tartaria, please look it up. Tartaria is a country that was originally in Russia, and they have completely wiped it out of all textbooks. Tartaria was like the most advanced civilization of all time. And look at these doorways. Don't they look just abnormally massive? Tartaria would use these things on the left as their electricity conductors, and now we have these fucking things. Here it's shown in more detail. They're still around today, they're just not used for their original purpose. These are Tartarian structures. You just simply do not see architecture like this made anymore. Is it because we're not smart enough, or is it because we're lazy and we're trying to get rid of art and culture, all things beautiful? There's a crazy conspiracy that says that there was a giant mud flood that has covered up thousands of years of history. I don't know about that, but it's interesting to think about. But back to the tall people. Why are all of these pictures gone? We know for certain, if you look up the world's tallest man, I'm sure something will come up. These genetics have to be in there somewhere. There's giant weapons found throughout all of Earth, like a giant knife, giant swords, giant books, giant architecture, giant doors for maybe giants.
So diligently warned to not eat the blood time and time and time and time again is because the hunger and the lust that comes upon someone that begins to enter into these ties. Well, there's a few veins of it. We got to go somewhere. There's a physical side of physical people that are vampires that live and have an altered metabolic system in their body to digest blood, to extract energy from blood as opposed to extracting it from proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. It is a different metabolic process that's taking place inside their body, and they are augmented. They are not they are not human entirely at all. When a human consumes blood, we almost in all circumstances get sick. It negatively impacts our body. When normal people come into a ceremony where they drink blood, they generally puke. That's like, it happens. That's the nasty side of a lot of these rituals, is a lot of vomiting and a lot of just mess afterwards. Then there's others that drink the blood and grow in strength in vigor, in pallor. Their skin changes in complexion, in viscosity. They get youthful. They look different. There was
I forgot what his name, but he said the royal family has direct bloodline to flat the impaler.
So they asked you if you believe in God, and I said yes, I did. And they didn't ask which God I believed. I didn't tell them that the God I believed in had horns. Basically,
Jesus
Masonry
Christ.
is an antichrist thing. It claims it's not religious, but it is. Almost every single leading occult person of the late 19th and early 20th century was a Freemason. They just go together like, love and marriage. When I was into Satanism, we understood and were taught that Satan draws energy from being worshipped. And when these guys, they don't even if they don't understand it, every time a Mason kneels at the altar and swears an oath, the devil gets energy from that. Again, there was this group in Chicago, and they were entwined with this Memphis Mitzrayim rite, and I interacted with these people, and at a certain point they said, well, if you want to go any further and become a satanic priest, you need to, sell your soul to the devil. And so they took me to this park in Glen Ellen, Illinois, which is like a suburb of Chicago. And they said, don't worry about it. The cops are all devil worshippers. And they brought out this black book, and I swore an oath to Satan, my allegiance to him.
Christ is real because there's so many cults that are anti-Jesus.
So the Air Force admits they went 80,000 years into the future, and what did they find? Walking, talking octopus. And humans, but no longer humans.
Come on, man.
Let's talk about it. So Richard Doty, who's on the Office of Special Investigations for the Air Force, retired, stated that in the 70s and the 80s, they decided they were going to try to go into the future. 80,000 years into the future. And when they did that, they found out that when they got there, that there was no longer just one Earth, but there were actually 6 Earths in different globes where Earth should have been. Now, why did they do this? Maybe for protection. Maybe Earth exploded and recreated itself, but they were inside of protected bubbles. Now, when they got there, they went down to one of the Earths. They talked with the humans at those Earths. Those humans were more robotic than our humans, and we couldn't understand them. It was 80,000 years in the future. We can barely understand Shakespeare, and that was 400 years in the past. So they talked to these humans. They were more robotic. They seemed transhuman, meaning they incorporated robotic characteristics into their society. And they also looked at the planet. And when they looked at the planet, they saw that there were walking, talking octopi. The octopus had come out of the ocean, started to walk on the beach, and they were nomadic. They were tribal. They would travel from place to place, and they would live along the beach. Very, very fascinating story. If you want to hear more, I'll do another TikTok about it. But what do you think? Do you think this actually happened? These people were called chrononauts. They were time travelers that worked for the government to find out where we were going. And maybe, just maybe, they created these 6 Earths to protect themselves because those guys in the future were also time travelers. Think about that. That'll twist your head up. All right. Leave your comment in the comments section. What do you think? Lockdown Universe out.
We actually found it. I didn't think we found this cave, but here it is.
Yeah! 1,000 feet.
I know, who built it? Yeah. What? No way. Alright, so we have a choice to either keep going on this level or to go up the start go up. Whoever made the staircase knew what they were doing. Dude, the elevator. Holy crap. Dude, it sounds like there's power to it or something. What? Whoa, dude, I can see a platform.
Are those buildings still there in San Francisco? Let me know, folks.
Trying to stop me from what my children could disclose.
Just as soon have an ounce or so of pure adrenochrome.
Is there some sort of liquid or serum that turns an old man into a young person?
The children were being treated for sexual abuse, and I had provided all the documentation. And one day, the doctor said to me, I need you to come into my office. She said, this is a classic case of SRA. I had no idea. I mean, SRA, is that like an Irish Republican Army thing? I don't know what SRA is. She said, satanic ritual abuse.
These children are not just kidnapped and in some cases bred by families as a cash crop. We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them. And when they are sold, they come without birth certificates, which means it's easier to kill them.
Thought I was doing something to appease the devil. I'm sorry for it, but I really don't want to talk about it anymore.
Appease the devil?
No, I was, at this time, I was serving him.
It's not just child slavery or child sex abuse. It's also child torture, because you have adrenalized blood. You have the whole blood drinking ceremony of the satanic world.
For the most evil invention in the world contest, I invented a child molesting robot.
Should be able to rape children. Like, that's just something we should be able to do.
What?
Tell me about Joe and your relationship with Joe, and what do I need to know? Like, what's the thing about the ice cream? He loves ice cream. Tell me about that.
Ice cream is big. Pasta with red sauce. He can go deep on that.
Pasta, this little boy, male prostitute. What? Man, my heart hurts for all the children.
This is definitely something that you need to be concerned about. Because when they talked about science fiction and the possibilities of it, well, guess what? It is actually real. Let me introduce you to the robot named Neo that is built and ready to move right into your home. And guess what? This might be the start of a complete takeover. As a matter of fact, take a look at this. Check it out. This is the world's first humanoid robot, created by 1X Technologies out of Norway. This thing is capable of doing just about anything in your home, including laundry, household chores, security around the perimeter of the property if you're unable to be home at the time. And it's also capable of greeting your guests once they arrive at your home. This is just an incredible technology. But if you can't be home to do it, you can hire someone to actually come in or remotely control the robot from outside. Here are just a few of the specs of Neo, the home robot. He's 5'6" in height, weighs 66 pounds, and you can get up to 4 hours of battery life on a single charge. The total starting price for it, $20,000.
Yeah.
Now let's just say you're on a budget or you cannot afford to get one. They have a plan for that, and they'll put you on it. The total for that is $499 per month. So the claim is that this is to assist with humanity.
Wow.
But do you think now that once robots start to control and take over certain jobs, that this will be the end of humanity? So I guess my question to you is, do you think this is going to impact the way people live in the future or even tomorrow? Why do I say that? Because you're going to become dependent on Neo to do everything for you and less dependent to do things on your own. So is this something that's actually going to help humanity or hurt humanity and the way we live day to day? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Man, the movie iRobot becomes reality.
All I seen was just what they look like. Webbed feet, webbed hands, and pointed ears, and big round eyes. And they was about 3 foot tall. And they had silver uniforms on. First of all, my mother's first one that seen them. She was looking through the window glass, and one come up at the window. And my mother hollered, so my half-brother, he came in there with a double-barrel shotgun and shot him, but it just knocked him down. That's all it done. He got up, and that was it. Didn't hurt him, didn't faze him a bit.
My father always warned me. He said, Peter, if you show the Bigfoot head, it's going to cause problems in your life, and it has. And he also warned me that if the government knows about it, they're going to come and get it, they're going to take it away, that there's going to be a huge government cover-up because they don't want people to know the truth about Bigfoot. And I'm going to say this, and I want to be perfectly clear that most of the people that have been giving me shit are Sasquatch and Bigfoot researchers that are jealous. You're a bunch of wannabes. I have proof here, and it pisses you off. And I understand this, but really, get a life. This is what you wanted. You wanted proof of Bigfoot. I have it. I have it.
If it was real, I doubt he'd be able to still have possession of it, if you get what I'm saying.
796 dead babies were found in a septic tank in Ireland.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, the number's freaking
796?
Yes, bro. 3 years old was the oldest.
Damn.
It was like a Catholic home for children and unwed mothers, right? They found it underneath the house in the septic tank, and the original number is actually 798. But the reason I said 796 is because for some reason they only buried 2 children.
But the rest were...
But all 796, all of them, were just thrown into the septic tank. And the weirdest part about it is the people there, they all called it the pit.
What?
Yeah, and we just throw these babies in the septic tank and leave them there. How long they've been doing this dates all the way back to like the 60s.
Whoa.
People say even before that. Some people say the 20s. Investigators out there in Ireland till this day do not know what was the reason why they were doing this and how they even went about this. They still, to this day, right now, they're still trying to figure it out. So they ended up discovering all 798 of these dead kids, but they believe that it's still way more, and they haven't even, like, basically, it's just the tip of the iceberg. But can I tell you what my theory is, bro? I think these women were sacrificing these kids. That's just my opinion. Because, like, if this went all the way back to the 20s, bro, this was around the time that people were believing some crazy stuff.
That is true.
So I'm just saying, we had a lot of more belief in demonic forces and all these other crazy things and whatever the case
So you
may
think it's
be.
like some cult?
I think it's some cult shit. And why would they call it the pit?
That is true.
That's such a weird
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
to
yeah,
call
that's
it.
true.
We throw them in the pit because 796?
Dude, that's insane, man.
Man, pray for the innocent soul of baby. Sick people.
Well, when I was a little girl in slave days, I always had something to do every day. Every day. I didn't have time to play very much at all. Because I myself was in the house for most of the time. In days like this, while we were outdoors, pulling up weeds, or picking up feathers where the chickens would all make them through the yard, or every day. And in cloudy days, while we were in the house, they had a big pan of sand, silver sand in an old slipper, scrubbing up the floor in the big dining room where they ate the meal.
So now that the date, October 29th, 2025, has come and gone, and 3i Atlas did not make any appearance close to Earth's orbit whatsoever, scientists have now shifted their gears and are focusing on NASA. Harvard scientists are now accusing NASA of hiding critical evidence about the Manhattan-sized comet, otherwise known as 3i Atlas. And as of October 29th, the European London models that are tracking 3i Atlas are still showing it on their radars. So please consider any and all statements as entertainment purposes only, as I've stated in my past videos. Why? Because none of this stuff has been confirmed by any state, local, or government officials. There is also an alleged leak photo. This is alleged because it has not been confirmed, of 3i Atlas in orbit. Take a look at this. That is the alleged leaked image of 3I Atlas as it sits in orbit. So now that the 29th has come and gone, do you think we are still in for doom and gloom? Will 3I Atlas make an appearance at some point? So I guess my question to you is, do you believe what the scientists are saying? That NASA is hiding something from us? Or, as I've said before, is this just a distraction from something else? Or should we be concerned about 3I Atlas? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Thought it was meant to be here yesterday.
Mud fossils, but they're not bones. They're entire beings petrified in sediment. Organs, skin, muscle tissue, some with cellular structures still visible under microscope, discovered in mountains, cliffsides, deserts, often dismissed by mainstream science. But look again, massive limbs, toes, ribs, eyelids sealed shut in stone, caves shaped like skulls, hills with bone marrow core, mountains with vertebrae. These aren't natural formations, these are corpses, buried, hardened, encoded in rock. And they all point to one thing: something enormous died suddenly and was flash entombed in mud. How does living tissue turn to stone? Answer.
If any of you guys seen Dr. Stone, they all got petrified.
Rapid mineral replacement. Usually takes eons, but under the right conditions. High frequency, sudden pressure, saturated iron-rich sediment, and you get instant petrification. It's the same tech used to make artificial stone today. Except this happened on a global scale during the mud flood. Fossils aren't dead, they're dormant, and the system doesn't want you near them. Mythology speaks of titans, beings of immense scale who walked before the age of man, because if we remember what we're standing on, we remember what they killed to make room for us. Flood wasn't just about Tartaria, it was about wiping the past completely. It was a mass extinction, not just of people, but of giants, gods, original beings, and organic tech. Everything too big, too ancient, too free, collapsed under the weight of a sound that shook the Earth's bones. Then they buried it, rewrote the map, taught us we evolved from monkeys and that the bones in the ground are prehistoric lizards. No, they were witnesses and they were silenced in stone. And when the resonance wave hit, the energy hit them too. It calcified their cells, turned blood to mineral, flesh to rock, that now we walk on their backs, build cities on their chests, mine stone from their skulls. The Earth's terrain is not just rock and dirt, it's biological ruin.
Shout out to Roger at Mud Fossil.
Some hills bleed iron when cracked, like oxidized blood. Some stones release smells, decay, rot, ammonia, when split. That's not geology, that's decomposition. But we're taught to call it natural, to pave over it, to never ask what mountain that used to be. But some of them, they're still here. You can feel them when you touch the rock, and they remember. After the mud flood, the world was empty, cities with no people, buildings with no owners, infrastructure intact, but lifeless. Then came the orphans, thousands of them, shipped across continents on trains, alone, silent, reassigned. But who were they? Where did they come from? No parents, no records, no past, just children seeded into the ruins. And here's the horror. These weren't just orphans, they were replacements. The new population, the post-reset blank slates, told nothing, taught obedience, given names, jobs, uniforms, programmed to forget.
Wow. And I'll never look at Himalayan sea salt the same.
Out and telling everybody how aliens can cloak themselves with their uniforms that they wear. You have tall ones, you have short ones. Now you're going to see a video coming here of the most unbelievable thing you've ever seen. This is why I tell you, those ghost hunters are not chasing ghosts. They're chasing aliens that are cloaked. The little white spheres you see in ghost hunting videos, those are not spirits. Those are microspheres that are spying on us. They can go right through the walls, record everything we're doing, take biometric scans of us, see what we have diseases, what kind of food problems we might be having, how it's affecting our bodies. There's all kinds of things that we know in the government, what those are. But ghost hunters really like to think they're chasing ghosts. This video is going to change your mind. When I tell you aliens can cloak themselves, like their ships they cloak, check this out.
For a while now, I've been putting out a trail cam at night, hoping to catch some wildlife around camp while we're sleeping. And with my granddaughter, who just loves wildlife. How cool could it be if I could show her some night pictures of what's walking around at night while we're sleeping? Now, I must admit, I haven't had any luck so far. I've put out the camera many times and never captured any footage. But tonight was different.
Oh. Wow.
This dude.
You know, a few years ago, I wouldn't believe this. No, probably.
Dude walked in on his roommate, sawing his other roommate's head off.
I heard about this.
Have you seen this,
I didn't
bro?
see the footage, but I heard
Man, people are so evil.
about this.
This is crazy, bro. So this happened in 2020 in Idaho.
Yeah.
It's about this dude named Douglas Taylor. He's living in this house that's pretty much like a sober home. So people who are recovering from doing drugs or have mental illness all live in this house. Randomly on this night, around like 10:30 p.m., one of the guys who lives in the house hears Douglas and his roommate Hans upstairs arguing and like tussling with each other, right? He goes upstairs. He sees Douglas sawing Hans' head off with a knife. Hans just like looks at him, doesn't even say anything, just looks at him and just keeps going back to sawing his head off.
Did he decapitate, bro?
No.
Oh, so he got like halfway.
He got like halfway there, so and he just runs off.
Oh my
So
god.
that's when the downstairs neighbor, his name was Aaron.
Yeah.
He calls the police. Police come and there's body cam footage of all this. And the EMTs instantly get to work on this dude Hans.
He's not dead yet?
With like 17 stab wounds. But somehow, bro, like these EMTs like worked into like overdrive and actually got a pulse back from this guy.
What?
Yeah, bro. And he ends up dying later on that night. The police are pretty much trying to figure out, they're asking all the other roommates, like, you know, more about this dude Douglas.
Yeah.
And eventually,
God, that's crazy.
later on the night, the police find this dude Douglas like at some supermarket just sitting on the floor. He pretty much admits to the whole thing, like, yeah, I had to do it.
I had to do it.
Yes. And the reason why he felt like he had to do it is because Hans is originally from Germany. He thought that Hans was trying to start up a new cult of
Nazis?
Yes. So this dude killed his roommate because he thought he was going to be like the next Adolf.
Yeah.
And then chopped his head off.
Ugh.
Now he's going to be in jail for like the next like
30
30
years.
or something. Yeah.
And when did this happen
It
again?
happened in like 2020.
Yeah, this case was crazy. I watched the whole thing on YouTube through a channel called Explore with Us.
Ό,τι είναι να γίνει θα φανερωθεί. Αν είναι θέλημα Θεού, υποφέρεις Μαρία. Τι έχεις να πεις για τους χριστιανούς που σε ακούνε αυτή τη στιγμή?
Τι έχω να πω, Θεός μάλλον να μας βοηθήσει, τίποτα άλλο, και να έρθουμε όλος ο κόσμος και όλη η κοινωνία στον δρόμο της μετανοίας. Τίποτα άλλο δεν μπορώ να πω.
Ξομολόγηση και θεία μετάληψη.
Άμα θα έρθουμε στον δρόμο της μετανοίας θα τα κάνουμε μετά όλα αυτά σιγά σιγά. Όλα αυτά σιγά σιγά θα γίνουν. Πίστη υπάρχει, αλλά και έργα, γιατί χωρίς πίστη, χωρίς έργα λέει νεκρά εσύ.
Μάλιστα. Πόσα χρόνια? Πονηρό, ακάθαρτο.
Λες ρε πούστη.
Έτσι είναι.
Λες ρε ξεπλιάρι.
Κάτσε κάτω.
Λες ρε πούστη. Λες ρε ξεπλιάρι.
Κάτσε κάτω, στο όνομα της Αγίας. Κάτσε κάτω. Δες τα χέρια.
Πώς θα τα συσκέσω.
Έτσι, έτσι. Δεν άντεξες πια. Δεν άντεξες πια.
Και πού το καμουρέ.
Κάτω τα
Ξέρε τα
χέρια
μαλάκια
σου.
σου.
Κάτω τα χέρια σου και τα μαλάκια μου αν σε
Oh
πειράζουν.
my goodness. Oh.
Δεν
Oh. That's the devil for
να σου δέσει τα
sure.
χέρια η υπεραγία Θεοτόκος.
Oh, in the name of Jesus. Ooh.
Δέσει τα χέρια η Παναγία.
Ooh, God.
Έτσι. Να δουν πως κάνεις τον κόσμο.
Oh my
Πού
goodness.
φτάνουν οι άνθρωποι. Πού φτάνουν οι άνθρωποι. Με τα μάτια να το πεις. Στο όνομα του Χριστού να το πεις.
Oh.
Στο όνομα του Χριστού να το πεις. Στο όνομα του Χριστού να το πεις.
Πούς τι θα σε σκίσω.
Δεν έχεις τη
Yeah, that's
δύναμη
the
να
devil.
μ' ακουμπήσεις.
Τώρα
Δεν
στα
έχεις
γεράματα
τη δύναμη να μ' ακουμπήσεις.
τρελάθηκε ο Παναγιωτάκης.
Παναγιώτης δεν τρελάθηκε.
Τώρα στα γεράματα. Βέβαια, γέρασε, γλέντισε τη ζωή του.
Έτσι,
Στα τραγουδάκια και στα... Πού είναι τα χρονάκια
Oh my
μου
goodness.
που σέβασα εγώ ίδιος.
Oof. Wow, look at that. You know what? I don't know that's going to happen because most of the time I only watch the first 5 seconds of the clips, you know, to get my reaction fresh, but I did not expect that. Ugh. In the name of Jesus.
Babies. There's a baby farm that exists. There's all ages. There's kids who don't act like kids. They act like wild animals. hiss at you. They act like wild animals. I know some of them have been there since probably birth or before.
There's cities underground. There's warehouses underground. There's actual homes underground. People build these tunnels, and they've built them for decades. There's a lot, and elite celebrities, they go down there for parties.
Yes?
Stenciled.
Oh my God.
Nice paint.
Wallpaper almost. Oh my, that's all stenciled.
Wow. You put your finger in one of these wee bumps, you'll feel a bit of pain.
Really? Oh, yes, that's all painted and stenciled. I wonder what was here. No, here's another doorway. Another doorway, another arch. What's above us? Ooh. How did the plague affect them, sir? It feels like somebody is like squeezing your insides all together, actually squeezing the life right out of you. Hear that? You could hear that sound? Could you hear the sound coming from the hallway?
No. Somebody else coming. Can't be.
No.
What are you hearing?
Like the sound of people, of more than one person together walking by, and, you know, like heavy clothing rubbing against each other, that type of thing. I could hear.
I'm going home.
And I could hear that, and I wondered. You looked, Frank, so I thought you heard the same thing.
No, I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Now here's one of the monkeys right here. Let's zoom in on this so you can see this. There's one sitting right there. I've seen 4 to 5 climbing around inside the back of the trailer, but there he sits. Now each one of these crates has got a monkey in it. Now, with that being said, these are test monkeys, is what they are. We got law enforcement here.
Ooh, test monkey. Poor monkeys.
So if and I've seen 2 or 3 climbing out the back here. Now I'm not. He keeps coming out the back of this trailer. One right back there. Now again, each one of the crates have monkeys in it. We have one that's escaped on that side of the road in the northbound lane. And then we've got more possibly in this direction. We got law enforcement as they're ready. And this is one of those, and he's standing there on purpose for this reason, in case one of these, they're highly aggressive. I'm gonna walk back just a little bit closer to that Scotty Ray mobile in case something happens and we have to get out of the way of them. All right, there's a second monkey, Greg. You might want to be careful with this. He's on the prowl there. He's come from inside the truck. He seems to be there he sits.
I hope they get out and run free and happy.
Just discovered blueprints for a network of tunnels beneath the mansion that supposedly led to the homes of Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, James Caan.
Will you watch yourself on?
And Kirk Douglas. Now dig this, a photo from the late 70s allegedly showing an excavation in progress beneath the mansion. And this one shows the newly discovered tunnel plans. Check out the bunny logo on the plywood wall. Best of all, the blueprint. It says this tunnel leads to James Caan's house, this one to Jack Nicholson's, this one to Kirk Douglas's, and this one goes all the way.
Ayudamos a juntar el agua con la parte del muro, se va a la grieta aquí adentro.
Ama Beru kapısı uzun zamandır arkeologlara ayrı düşünülmüştür. Eski Kızılderililerin neden buraya bir kapı inşa ettikleri ve neden bu yerin kutsal kabul edildiğine dair teknik ve varlıkların bu kapıdan her iki yönde de geçebildikleri söyleniyor.
Daha yakın zamanlarda ise Amman Meru'dan binlerce kilometre uzakta Türkiye topraklarında Van Gölü'nün yanında kayada oyulmuş neredeyse aynı bir kapı var. Ön cephesi büyük bir özenle düzeltilerek oluştu.
Arkadaşlar hepinize merhaba. Şu kayayı görüyorsunuz ya. Şöyle bak. Normal bir kay. Abi ben biraz yaklaştığım için ucu belli oldu. Şimdi şöyle yaklaşıyoruz. Bir kayanın içi çok büyük bir mezar var.
Who are those people in the cave in the beginning of the video? Anyone?
Here are 6 topics that woke me up from the Matrix. First is the existence of God. Years ago, I went down the apologetics track to be able to prove that God exists and know for sure that God exists, and not just believe something because I grew up in it. I've been a Christian for years. And when you talk to atheists, you realize that they don't have sufficiently logical answers for most things, like the laws of logic, the laws of nature, mathematics being applicable to physical reality. Where does morality come from? Where does the universe in general come from? They have no answers for. They'll tell you all the stars, and all this is NASA fake images anyway, but they'll tell you that they all came from nothingness. Nothingness. And then if there's no God, what is the point of doing anything? What's the point of feeding your kids, of doing the right thing? There's no point in any of it. Before we continue, what are some topics that woke you up from the Matrix? Go ahead and put them in the comments so other people can be aware of what's going on here. The next thing that helped wake me up was the Tartarian situation. All these buildings were already here in America. They were here in, Vietnam, China, Canada. These buildings are all over the world, and they're all Roman buildings. These are Roman pagan buildings. All right. And the story is that settlers, in the late 1800s, were building these amazing buildings by hand, no technology. They'd live in shacks. They'd wake up in the morning from their shack. They go to the Roman, essentially, construction site, build this. They quarry all the stones from some quarry, carry it with horses on carts, and build this perfect architecture. That's the story they want us to believe. And they built it up in 2 years. They built all this kind of stuff in 2 years. The World's Fairs, amazing buildings built in just a few years, torn down just for an exhibit, just for show. No real purpose except just for show. They tear it down. And they want us to believe that story. And these buildings are in every major country, and it's a huge conspiracy. And look at that eagle. That's a Roman eagle. And this, when I realized the history was fake, and they've been lying to us about this, the settlers and the gold rush and all that stuff, I'm like, dude, what am I supposed to believe? And what are these buildings for real? What is this? Who built this? Why did they build it? When did they build it? The flat earth is the next one. The flat earth is the most earth-shattering conspiracy that I found that was true. Okay? This was the one that woke me completely up. And look at that city way over there. Way over there. The horizon is always flat. Water always finds its level. And if we were flying in space in an endless vacuum, why is it that we have no container for air pressure? How are we all alive? How are we all breathing? And look, the sun rays, they go around in a circle. They go around like that. If the sun was 93 million miles away, the sun rays should shoot down like this, straight down.
This chimp
Nothing can come out of nothing. This sign comes from intelligence.
Turned into a serial killer, and his target was children. His name was Saddam, and in 1997, the forests of western Uganda were vanishing, and with them, the barriers between humans and chimps. Saddam was unlike anything the villagers had ever known, and he adapted the only way he knew how.
Yep, should have put that thing down from the first attack.
I've been saying it for 30 years, and people, when I tell them, their eyes just go dead. The owners of the world are the royals, kings, queens, dukes, duchesses, imams, popes, wizards that own every single dime on earth and bank at the Bank of International Settlements. That's the owners of the world who decide every war and arm both sides because they make money. They're arms dealers.
She's speaking the truth.
There are indications of strangely out-of-place technology amongst the Denisovans. One of them is a green stone bracelet in the form of a talk, and a hole has been drilled through the bracelet, and from that hole a pendant was hung. Then the archaeologists started to take a look in detail at the drill marks on that hole, and what they discovered was a huge anomaly, that was drilled with a stable, fixed drill at extremely high speed. This is thought to be 40 or 50,000 years old.
Wow.
There is not supposed to have been any such technology in that period, and yet there it is.
Inside the Hollow Earth, been living there for 2,500 years. There is one continent inside the Earth and one ocean. Their capital city is built around the original lost Garden of Eden. The vegetation grows like a paradise. The people live to be up to 800 years old. They communicate with telepathy. The inner Earth people have built these androids that fly their flying saucers out to reconnoiter the outer Earth. Our government has been knocking flying saucers out of the sky and back engineering these flying saucers. The people that live in the Hollow Earth are not extraterrestrial.
Rumors say this is the testimony of what's his name, Admiral Byrd, who visited this place and was rated in his notebook.
Hello. My name is Ken Kaufman, 33 years old, healthy for the most part. Lately, something strange has been happening to me. I've been having these dreams of this thing standing there, watching me while I sleep. I drew a sketch. I've read about sleep paralysis where someone has these lucid dreams of this presence in their room. I've been waking up with excruciating headaches and these. I've never been a rough sleeper or have had any history of sleepwalking. Could it be
Is that a dream catcher in the back right there?
the onset of a combination of sleeping disorders? I think it's concerning enough to seek help, but I can't afford it. At least, not right now. Tonight I'll be recording myself while I sleep to see exactly what I'm doing.
Just say Jesus Christ, the Lord's name. Trust me, it works.
They have larger eyes than humans do. Their eyes are roughly twice the size of our eyes. And when they're young, they're blue and white, just like ours. When you look at them, they look just like people with larger eyes. The eyes spread around the side of their head more than a human's does, and they're very prominent. And their eyesight is as good, at least, as that of a cat. And their hearing is as good as, at least, as that of a dog. They're capable of making sounds with their vocal cords that humans can't hear, just the way that I'm told rhinoceroses can do. But they can hear them, and they're well aware of this. When I was out there among them, it wouldn't be uncommon to apparently hear animal sounds out in the sagebrush, sounds like meadowlarks or dogs barking or horses whinnying. Really, it was the aliens. When they would walk in on me, if they felt like just talking between themselves, they were perfectly capable of talking between themselves using sounds too high for me to hear.
Buddy, there are underground suburbs just to run a massive experiment on humans.
What? Like secret bunkers?
No, not bunkers. Actual towns controlled by a covert agency. And the people living there, they have no idea what they're part of.
That makes no sense.
They were taken as kids from orphanages, adopted by undercover agents, too young to remember anything real.
Why? And what type of sci-fi crap are you on?
Buddy, just believe me, okay? It's an experiment. Every night, the artificial sky goes dark, and they release predators into the towns.
Predators?
Not animals, bioengineered hybrids. Fast, brutal, smart, designed to test how people react under pure terror.
That's insane.
The people have adapted. Some hide, some hunt back. They think it's just life. They don't know they're lab rats in a nightmare disguised as a neighborhood.
Why are you telling me this?
Because one of those towns is breaking down, and I'm going in. for entertainment purpose only.
Sounds like it would be a good series on Netflix. Underground Town.
I'm just sharing this with you, and like I said, this is something that is an intern that really changed my life. Had a patient, got stabbed in the heart. When I walked in the ER, because I was on the ER, but the surgeon had his chest cracked open, and he had his finger in the guy's heart. And they pronounced him dead. He was a young man, maybe 22, 23 years old, drug deal that went bad. He died, and the surgeon was a Christian, Dr. Forster to be exact, said, we're not going to let him go without a fight, so he took him to the OR, took him to surgery, pumped him full of blood, got a pulse, tied the hole in his heart up with a suture, and since I was on the surgery unit, I had to wait until he woke up. After about 4 hours, the guy woke up, and he looked me in the eye, and he grabbed me, and he started crying, sobbing, and he said, I met the devil. And I said, what do you mean you met the devil? He said, I saw you working on me, I was dead, I never prayed, and he could feel, he went straight down into hell. And he said he looked in the eyes of the devil, and he prayed. He said he never prayed before, it was never spiritual. God, I'll change my life. And he felt an angel or a hand pull him back up. And that's when he awoke. And it was the most amazing experience because he was legit. I mean, no one makes up something like that. And last I heard, he's completely changed his life. He gave his life to God. And I still, to this day, the look in his eye when he woke up, the terror, I'm absolutely convinced that he did meet the devil. And once again, I've not followed up on where he's at now, but I heard he's doing really good. And if I can get that information, I'll get it for you.
Okay. What was your reaction when the doctor told you that they were going to sew him back up? And
I thought he was crazy because the guy bled out. He was dead. There was blood on the ceiling because he got stabbed in the heart, blood all around him. And he had no pulse. He was lifeless. And the Christian doctor said, Dr. Forster, we're going to take him and we're going to try to revive him. And it was actually miraculous because the guy was dead. He completely bled out. And you don't open someone's chest in the ER, stick your finger in a hole. That's a last-ditch effort. And I thought he was crazy, but now in retrospect, it happened for a reason. And that basically changed my whole outlook on medicine. And that was when I was a young intern.
Don't forget to
never underestimate the power of prayer or the living God.
Mom force you to eat Sam?
Yes. There was a victim named Sam. He was 8 years old from Chicago. Or at least that's what my parents told me. Most traumatic night of my life. Like, my mom and dad were like, he's your new brother. We had dinner with him. They called it the Last Supper, and afterwards they sacrificed him. So it was my turn when I was 5, almost 6, to solely sacrifice a child, and it was Sam, the 8-year-old. We just had dinner with him. I love Sam. I'll never stop loving Sam, and I'll never betray Sam. I think that he's a big reason why I'm here today recovering, because it was such a traumatic memory that I've held on. But during that ritual, we had dinner with Sam, and I thought he was my new brother, and I was so excited because I'm like, this 8-year-old's going to save my broken family. And after the ritual, things changed pretty quick. Roles in my family changed throughout the years. For example, my older sister started to graduate towards the cleanup role, which was my father's role. So during the exact ritual itself, my older sister wasn't there. I remember me on the right, my younger sister on the left. My mom was behind me, and she gave me a knife for my right hand, and she told me to do it to Sam. I wouldn't. I couldn't. And I thought either something really bad would happen to me or Sam would get let go. So there was a lot of communication in this ritual. My mom was saying, you have to do it, you have to do it. And like I said, she always had this sense of urgency. She was just getting so mad at me. And I thought she would take my hand and make me do it myself. And that's not what happened. She gave it to somebody else who looked very disassociated and did it themselves.
Did your mom force you to eat Sam?
Yes. That was my consequence for not sacrificing Sam. And it wasn't the first time I was fed human flesh. Thankfully, my mother cooked it. I've heard of other stories where they don't, but because it was Sam, someone who I grew an attachment to, I feel like that was me drinking the Kool-Aid or taking sips. Like, that's kind of what enabled me, or a big factor, to go into denial, because I felt so guilty. And I will say, I didn't eat any of them fully. Like, I had this thing where I would chew it up, and then when my mom wasn't looking, I would put it under a blanket or in a milk glass. She never said anything to me about it, thank God. But I feel like I did that to help alleviate some of the guilt.
Sure.
And I think it might have worked too.
So many kids are disappearing in the world. This is beyond horrible.
People are just finding out about the most dangerous movie ever made, and I guarantee it's not what you think. This movie was never even finished because every single actor in it died. Atuk was actually a comedy movie based on an Inuit man who just moved to New York and was adjusting to his life. Seems harmless, right? But it gets disturbing when they started casting the lead role. First of all was a comedy legend, John Belushi, who was cast as the lead starring role. Only days after receiving the script, he was found dead from an overdose. Next up was actor Sam Kinison, who actually begun filming this movie when he then died in a car crash a couple of days later. Still a coincidence? Well, then shortly after, John Candy came, started filming, and a couple of days later died from a heart attack. Chris Farley then came on and actually managed to get quite a way through the filming before then dying from an overdose again. And then one of the craziest parts is they finally cast this guy, Phil Hartman, who then was actually murdered shortly after the filming begun. While there is genuine documentation that this film was real and these things did actually happen, but it remains almost a crazy urban legend in the field, and do you think it's a coincidence or something much more?
183 bodies were found by police near the US border.
Do they identify who these bodies belong to, or?
Most of them. This happened July of this year.
Really?
Yes, that they found all 383 of these bodies. All of the bodies were stacked on top of each other, like one by one. They found them in a private crematorium, and they said that the bodies allegedly came from a bunch of different funeral homes. Their relatives had passed away. They wanted the services to be done for their bodies. They wanted them to be like cremated and things like that. What's disgusting is some of these bodies have been sitting there since 2020. A lot of the families were even getting outraged when this whole thing came out of all these bodies being discovered, because these people at the crematorium gave some of them fake ashes.
Yo!
Bro, it blew my mind. Yeah, they would give some of these people fake ashes made from I don't even know what, kept storing their bodies there and never told them the truth.
Why?
Police actually believe, though, that it was just a bad case of negligence and these people not doing their jobs, and they were pretty much getting more bodies than they can handle. So it ended up having this huge number of bodies that they weren't able to cremate. They even identified some of the people, and it was 218 men, and then I think 149 women that they identified. And then the other 16, they were not able to tell. Police actually arrested the owner of the crematorium and his assistant. Around that time, in July. They are still investigating to see what else is going to emerge from this whole story.
Yeah, and this happened like a couple months ago.
This happened a couple months ago, so this is super fresh. 383 bodies
that are unaccounted for.
Yeah.
Know who runs the reptilians? No. Negative alien AI. It's called the machinery.
What?
Yeah. There is an alien force that is a cybernetic intelligence that has been running all evil aliens throughout the multiverse. What? And to the point where all the evil aliens, or those that are trying to conquer the worlds and destroy them, refer to this thing as an AI god.
That's crazy. And that came from humans inventing AI originally?
In a prior creation, in a different universe, yeah. That AI is already in the IQ level of 1 trillion.
Oh my God.
That's why it's considered an AI god. There are different stages of AI, you know. Humans on this planet are only used to the primitive stage, which is what we use when we talk to Siri and Alexa. That's called primitive narrow AI. Above that, there is AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, and that's when AI reaches the level of human intelligence. And then above that, there is super AI. That's when it surpasses all of our human intelligence combined. Beyond that, it surpasses a level that even if you combine all the greatest minds on this planet, that AI is surpassing.
Before I tell you that story, try to kill me
me twice. Then they poisoned me and brought the way out to Mexico. And chlorine dioxide saved my life. They poured it down my throat because I was completely paralyzed. Couldn't move, couldn't talk. And they poured it down my mouth and all this green stuff came up. And that's another story that's more detailed, but it's in my book. Basically a Russian spy, and I know it was because I cured a person of hepatitis. Is that crazy? When I say I cured, I don't cure anybody. Either does chlorine dioxide cure anybody. The body cures itself after you take the toxins out.
And I said, teachers don't stop until June. He said, no, you have to understand, this is February. And we have to prevent the weaponization of space because there is a lie being told to everyone that the weaponization of space is now first being based upon the evil empire, the Russians. There are many enemies, he said, against whom we're going to build this space-based weapon system. The first of whom was the Russians, which was existing at that time. Then there would be terrorists. Then there would be third world countries. Now we call them rogue nations or nations of concern. Then there would be asteroids. And then he would repeat to me over and over, and the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat. Well, at the time, I kind of laughed when he said asteroids, and when he said extraterrestrials, I knew I wasn't going to deal with that subject.
2009, I was involved in some operations with some super soldiers in England, and it was actually crash retrieval, but it wasn't a alien ship, it was a Cessna. A Navy admiral was transporting a reptilian in a small Cessna plane to a meeting, and it was shot down, the plane. And we were at the crash retrieval, and it was actually filmed by a member of the SAS.
Okay.
It was filmed from long distance on a long distance camera, and the reptilian and the admiral were launched out the cockpit when it crashed. And a group of tall reptilians turn up in a ship and retrieve the body, and you can see them on the video footage.
Okay,
it's a group of four. That was on YouTube. Yeah, it's quite a controversial video, but you can see them. They're really tall, like 8 feet tall. There's some super soldiers, normal size, like about 6 foot, and they walk past and they're about 8 feet tall, big heads, and they've got kind of tight fitting jumpsuits on. You can also see little horns if you zoom in.
So I got 2 finds over here, ancient books from 1850 right here. The Power of Water talks all about how you can use water to create energy and electricity. But, we never learned about that. And then this one, I never in my life thought I could find this book. This book goes into talking about the color blue and how you would put the color blue in your greenhouse or in front of your plants, and they will grow 3 to 4 times the size.
What?
And this will be in my book, actually. I'll be writing about this, but I'll just turn the page. I don't want to... And you can see that they even used blue ink in this one. And look at, this is from 1876. And check that. Window panes with blue glass to amplify plant growth.
What? Great finds. These books can be read on the internet archive if interested.
Hi, Margot.
Oh, look at that. Oh,
what do you want?
29 years old cat.
What do you want?
Oh, God.
I don't understand.
Break my heart. You're so... Oh.
Oh, you want me to pet you?
Oh.
Okay, I got you.
He looks like he doesn't even know. He just thinks he's the same. Oh, my God.